Look what we got right here, folks. Little bitty sauger. That's a little bitty dude. But now you can fill them with braid. There's no doubt about it. Such a light strike. Now that is a little bitty dude. But that's what's going on right now. The smaller fish, let's let him go right there, are coming in to the dam, migrating towards the dam, or a lot of the fish are. Not all of them do that. Not all sauger do that, but a lot of them do. And the first ones normally will be little small sauger like that. We call them cigars here in this part of the country. And you can catch them from the bank right here at Guntersville Dam. A lot of people says, I ain't never caught a sauger. You have to have a boat, and you have to get out in the dam. Get out in that. No, you don't. You can catch them from the bank. And sometimes you can catch big ones right here too, from the bank. No certain place, not this time of the year, when the water temperature gets around 60 degrees on the surface, you can walk up and down these rocks right here, and sooner or later you can find you some sauger. And the colder it gets, the bigger the saugers seem to get. The females will start moving in here really thick. There he is. That was a light bite, but nothing's getting past me right now. Everything that's biting, I'm catching. Look here, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. See, that's what I'm talking about right there. Everything that's biting is getting a hook in it. Hey man, I'm gonna scream. I'm gonna doggone scream. Let's let it go. Alright folks, we're here at Guntersville Dam. It is cold as everything. It's about 32 degrees this morning. The wind's blowing a little bit, not too much. I hope it stays down. If it don't, we're going to have to get some coveralls on because it is cold. But what I have right here is we're going to be doing a little bit of sauger fishing, and I discovered that this bait right here, and it's just an 1.75 bait, Micro Finesse Tiny Tickler Z, and the name of the color is Space Guppy. I absolutely tore some sauger up here not too long ago with this bait right there. Same bait. That's a 1/15 of an ounce jig head in it. Micro Finesse jig head in it. Now, there's another color that I want to try because I've had success with sauger with colors like this. This is called Fire Truth. It's yellow and orange with a little bit of metal fleck in it. Well, I have one of those right there. And here's the Fire Truths. That's the one that I really tore them up on. But they should hit that color. We're going to see. Now, I get a lot of questions about, you know, fishing rocks. It's real rocky right here. So I do use a leader instead of tying direct when I'm fishing on the bottom here, because this 8-pound braid, which is what I have on both reels, don't stand up to nicks. Any little nick in it, well, if you get a nick in it and all of a sudden you get bit, you set the hook, you'll pop off quick. You need a leader. You need at least a 3-foot leader here. And I'm using, I get a lot of questions, is monofilament a good leader to tie the braid? Absolutely. This is Red Cajun line. This is what I used to use before I even started this channel. This is an excellent line to tie to braid, because when this line first come out, the fact of the matter is these fish can't see this Red Cajun line. They've done a lot of studies on it. It's just as good as fluorocarbon line as far as fish not being able to see the line. And I have both of these baits tied with a loop knot, which is the only way I'll fish with these baits right here. This is nothing more than just a miniature Ned rig. That's all it is. Just a downsized version of it. That loop knot is not tight to the eyelet, folks, so it allows this bait to have better action. In other words, when this bait hits the bottom, Elastec is very buoyant, so what happens is when it hits the bottom and you work the bait, which the way I'm going to be working it is just making little 5-6 inch movements, that bait will fold up when I move it like that and then stand up immediately. Now this tail will be doing just like that in the current. It'll look alive even when it's still. Now I believe that's why these Sauger are eating this bait up. I wished that they made one that was probably a 1/2 inch longer than that, maybe a 2 1/4 inch bait. That would be more like it, but they've been hitting this little bait pretty good. There's not a lot of big Sauger in here anyway, not right now, unless they're in here now, and I just don't know it. But light action rods, light power rods is what I'm using. This is a 6'10" light action rod right there, and this one here is 6.5 feet. I like that. I like the shorter leaders, 3 feet instead of 6-7 feet. That way that double uni knot is what I use for the connection. It don't have to go through so many eyelets. You can get a longer distance as far as casting. Sometimes you need that here at the dam to reach the fish. Okay, and like I said, 8-pound test braid. I got a pair of 2000 size spinning reels right here, a Johnny Morris, which is nothing but a Daiwa, and this is a Daiwa Fago. I believe that's how you pronounce it. But always a loop knot on a Ned rig, even on these little bitty ones. Let's get down here and see if we can catch them. We've talked enough. That's enough talking. Woo. Now I'm throwing into about 15, 16 feet of water out there. It's pretty deep. And that 1/15 worked in that wind, so I'm pretty sure to work here. I actually had to hold my rod tip down like this and make little movements like that. See, I'm following the current right there, folks. Make little bitty movements like that. What happens is, just like I showed you, that bait will fold under when you move it. Like right here, I moved it. Then it'll raise back up. And it's just going down the current right there. But I had a little bite right there. Something bit it. I can actually hold my rod up and move this bait. You'll have much more sensitivity. See, like right there, I got bit. Ooh, I'm gonna get down here with it. We'll fish right here a little bit. I don't know what it was. Wasn't much of a fish if he couldn't get that little bait in his mouth. But you'll have much more sensitivity if you can hold your rod up at around 10 o'clock. But if it's real windy, I'll put my rod down like that. And then I'm a line watcher. That's why I like this high-vis braid. I can see that tick. Best way I can describe it. But let's slide this bottom. Now I'm just fishing real slow. Let's slide this bait on the bottom real slow. And I'm following the current. There's a light current right here. Not very strong at all, but I'm following it with my rod tip. Watching that line, that high-vis braid. There he is. That was a light bite. Let's see what we got right here now. Got us a little sauger. Well, maybe we found some. I've been walking this bank for a long time, folks. I mean, a long ways. And have yet to found them, so maybe we did, and that was on that. Ooh, he got me. Quit. They can get you. About 11 inches long, a cigar. But I tell you what, they're a lot of fun to catch. Maybe we found them right here. And they hit this color right here, this orange and yellow. Which, you know, that's a very visible color to all fish. Is orange and yellow, very visible. But let's let him go down here. A sauger don't hit very hard at all. I mean, it's a lot of times they'll just snap that bait up and stay put. But usually you can feel them or see the bite on this high-vis braid or feel it. The braid is very sensitive. It's perfect fishing for sauger, in my opinion. But little bitty movements. When you're fishing for sauger, you need to keep bottom contact or very close to the bottom. Right on the bottom is best. There he is. See what we got right here. Oh, he ain't very big. That's a sauger. Boy, I'm going to tell you, when he hit that, he didn't hit it hard at all. I almost didn't pull the trigger. So I tell you, when it comes to fishing, when you're fishing like this for cold water fish, folks, let's let him go. If you think you're getting back, go ahead and jerk. I mean, it don't cost anything to set the hook. If I'd have hesitated a little bit more on that fish right there, he'd have blowed that little jig out. Of course, you know, I mean, just a little sauger. That's not the point. It could have been a 2 pound sauger, 2.5 pound sauger. There he is. Hey, this is pretty good fish, folks. This is a pretty good one, I believe. See what we got right here. If this is a sauger, it's a pretty good one. My. That fish is staying down and he's fighting. Yeah, it's a sauger. It's a good one too. Look here. Well, yes, sir. That was worth me just coming down here, believe it or not. Just to come down here and catch a fish like that from the bank. That is a good one. That's what we're talking about. I knew it was a good one when I stuck him. Now that's a size 6 hook in that little jig head. And it's got him good. I see where the hook is. Yes, sir. Man, that's a darn good sauger right there. Look here. My. Whoa. I'm talking about doggone. Whoa! That fish eat that orange one. That's a good sauger right there, folks. That's what I was after. I don't know if I'll catch another one or not, but if I don't, it's still a blessing. Still a blessing. Let's let him go. That's awful good fish to let go. They are delicious. But I didn't bring anything to put him in. Let's let him go right here. We'll sort of revive him. There he goes. That's a big sauger. That's a good one. I'm going to say he's probably 16.5 inches long. There ain't nothing to do but catch our another. Yellow is a very visible color to any fish. It's been proven to be one of the most visible colors to fish. And I believe that's one reason why chartreuse is such an effective color. Just because it's visible, real visible. Very visible. Late in the evening, a lot of times saugers will come right up to the bank, folks. Or within, really close to the bank. I've noticed that. You can't really depend on them being out late in the evening. You need to check pretty close to the bank. In other words, instead of making a long cast, shorten your cast up a little bit and then fish. And then, what I'm saying is to cover water in a place that has current, start off if you want to with a long cast. If you don't get bit, fall short of that long cast a few feet, a couple, 2 or 3 feet, and just keep making them shorter. And what you're doing right there, you're actually covering water. If you don't get bit after you do that, it takes a while to do that before you'll be ready to move again. But if you don't get bit, just move again and repeat that. In current, that's how you use current from the bank. Because let's say you make a long cast and you're getting in the habit of this, okay? Long cast like that. And you do that every time, well, you're covering the same water every time. And then you move. What about from that cast, okay, this way? They could be a water fish in there that would be out of this world, but you'll never know it. Now that's a great point to mention. That's how I go about it when I'm fishing from the bank. That's what I mean covering water. If you're in a current situation, I'm making those shorter casts now. And by the time the current brings it around this way, the bait's closer to me every time. The bait was way out there, but every time now on the drift, it's getting closer and closer and closer. So it's not going to be too much longer. I'm going to move. Yep, let's move up just a little bit. That's how I do it. And I catch a lot of fish by doing that. Paying attention to how far I'm casting out, shortening those casts up. Even on a bad day, which I'm going to tell y'all the truth, these fish are not biting today so far. You can still catch a few. Come out here and practice. Catch a few. You need to keep your fishing in practice, just like anything else that you do. There he is. That was a light strike. This is a pretty good fish. But that bite was very, very, very light. Yeah, this is a respectable fish right here. Guarantee you that. Yeah, look here, what a sauger. Look at there, look at there, look at there. Now that's how it works on these sauger. I've noticed, especially if you're fishing with smaller baits. Now this is pretty well a fact. For some reason, you can't hardly feel the strike, but if you'll use the bigger baits, you can. That's a good fish right there. You feel the strikes better. They just sort of inhale these smaller baits. And you have to really pay attention. Quit. Folks, that's not a bad fish at all. Right there. Not a bad one at all. I'm talking about that fish right there is probably 16.5 inches long. Good one. That's what I call a good sauger. And that's a good way to end it right there. Beautiful, beautiful fish. Just let him go. There you go. Come on, boy, go on. He's tuckered out. He'll finally get his sauger pretty durable. There he goes. Okay, he kicked on off. Wow, that fish right there was wore out. I took my time, which I love to do when it comes to fishing. Well, folks, it's definitely time to go home and eat some butter beans, cornbread, and probably some pintos. I'll probably mix them pintos in with them butter beans so to give it a little extra oomph. When it comes to fishing, folks, you learn every day if you'll try it. Just like life, you'll learn every day if you'll try it. God bless each and every one of y'all. Thank y'all for all the great comments. Everything y'all do is appreciated more than you'll ever know. I want to say, hey man, woo. Oh my, the trees is pretty, woo. There's squirrels in them trees, woo. Hey man, I'm talking. And remember, go fishing when you can. Fuck all this good food.